Sevilla Football Club, one of the giants of not just Spanish football, but European football as well. With 7 Europa League trophies, they have the most out of any team in the competition by a mile. But in recent years, they haven't been able to live up to expectations. Although they are not known for really competing for the title in La Liga, as mentioned earlier, they are the record holders of the most Europa League titles, which means they are good enough to qualify for Europe every season and be competitive enough in it. With all of this history and information out of the way, we have a job on our hands to take Sevilla from their current position back to their glory days and maybe go above expectations. And that is what we plan to do as we analyze the quality of players in the team through training sessions to see who we can utilize in the future, and with the January transfer window coming up, players we can sign to make the team better. As we perform our analysis, we come to realize that a lot of players are out of contract at the end of the season, but to avoid making any rash decisions, we wait until our first game of the season up against Celta Vigo in the league. The starting 11 for this match are Nilin in goal, Salas and Bade as our back two, with Barco and Carmona as the left and right fullback to complete the back four. Gedelj is moved to a central midfield but with a holding role, accompanied with De Brusol and Saul. The front three is the prolific Luca Bacchio on the right, Isaac in the middle, and Pecky on the left. This game had a slow start to it, with Celta Vigo taking a more conservative approach to the game, but a misplaced headed pass due to pressure from Carmona finds its way to Isaac, who holds onto the ball looking for options as he lays it off to Gibrusol, who does well to play Carmona through on the right hand side, and he takes the ball down the byline as he looks for an option in the box, and it's Pecky who is free, but it's a good save to keep things level. With half an hour gone, we look to find space in the Celta Vigo defense, and it's Gedelj looking to probe at them, gets into the 18-yard box, and he finds Luca Bacchio, who lays it off to Isaac in a good position. First time shot, but it's well wide. We look to get the first goal of the game as the first half comes to a close, and it's the prolific but tricky Luca Bacchio who looks to weave through the defense, takes a shot, but it's too tame, and Isaac cannot react quick enough, and that ends the first half. Early on in the second half, and we are still looking for that elusive goal, and Gibrusol finds Isaac in a great position, but he doesn't go for it. Instead, he lays it off to Carmona, who gives it back, a little 1-2 there, and it gets to Luca Bacchio, and a speculative shot doesn't get the best of the keeper. Celta Vigo's patience gives them an opportunity with Iago Aspas, but he doesn't also get enough on it to beat the goalkeeper. With the game inching to a close, and us looking like the better team, we look to go on the attack to get that first goal, but it's Gedelj who loses concentration and is dispossessed in a dangerous area, and it's the pacey Mbamba on the hold of the ball on the left hand side looking to get into the box, and that is one hell of a physical presence as he gets the first goal of the game against the run of play. And Mbamba looked to be one hell of a trump card for the Celta Vigo manager as he looks to get his second in the closing stages of the game, but it's a save from Nilin, and that first goal from Mbamba would be enough to give us our first loss of the journey. After that loss, we do get a good feel for where we are quality wise in terms of players, and it looks like we lack the attacking threat to take games by the scruff of the neck. We looked shaky defensively, but it looked like a problem that could be dealt with as time went on. An offer for Suso came in from Manchester United, and that sparked my interest for a player that could potentially help our attacking deficiencies in Marcus Rashford. But we would need to sell more than just Suso to be able to get that deal done. More offers coming in for players as we eye down a really tough upcoming match against Las Blancas. We prep tactically as we head into our second game. The aim of this game for me was to defend and take our time with passes, but Carmona really didn't seem to get the memo, and Real Madrid get the opportunity to hit us on the counter, and one pass splits our midfield, and Modric finds Mbappe in a dangerous position, but it's Gedelj who comes in and we get away with a corner. We fight valiantly in this half as Real Madrid have chance after chance, and Nilin was just lucky that they weren't in a better position to take these chances as we managed to keep the game level heading into the second half. Early into the second half, it follows the same vein as the first half, with Real Madrid looking to open up the game, and our formation looks to be exposing our midfield, and it's Bellingham again, splitting through that midfield with a single pass, finding Modric, who goes forward this time around with Vinicius and Mbappe ahead of him. lays it off to the former, who wastes no time to find the Frenchman, who goes to get the first goal of the game. And we had a long way to go in the match and our journey in general. Our midfield again still looking very shaky, calling for Salas to come up and make an interception. And one pass from Barco puts us in a great position as Isaac heads the ball down to Luka Bacchio, who wastes no time to hit it, but it's not enough to beat the Belgian in goal. But that didn't stop Real Madrid from pushing for that second goal, as Locke fell onto Vinicius Jr. with a rebound as he got the second goal of the game, and that was unfortunately enough to get them the 3 points, and it was 2 losses in a row to end the 2024 year for us. Going into the January transfer window, we had a decent number of outgoings to raise some funds for a potential transfer, but we still had to wait a few more days to get the funds sorted out as we headed into the Copa del Rey against Almeria. Now, this is a competition that I set my eyes on. An opportunity to get some silverware and show not just the board but the fans that we meant business. Although our objectives for the seasons were nothing crazy, I still wanted to try and win this competition. And we took the steps in the right direction with this goal from Luka Bacchio, and it's the first goal of our journey and hopefully a sign of many more to come. A pretty pragmatic half after that goal, with both teams not really going for the second goal of the game, but it was 3 minutes in the second half that Bade of all defenders mistimes a tackle in the 18-yard box and gives away a penalty, and it was an opportunity for Almeria to get something and an opportunity that they took well and leveled the game. Both teams didn't seem to know how to pass the ball as we kept losing possession, and with a minute to go, the team managed to string a few passes together to find Luka Bacchio in the box looking for his second, but it's a very wayward shot as we head towards extra time. Following the same flow of the first 90 minutes, both teams misplaced pass after pass, and it was in the 111th minute that Luka Bacchio, being afforded with a lot of space to be fair, probes towards the Almeria defense, and a little bit of trickery opens up the defense for him and he hits it home, and that is more than enough to get us through to the next stage of the competition. With outgoings basically done and some revenue obtained, it was time to renew the contracts of players I perceive to have a future in our journey, and also more importantly, get a sign-in to make an impact in this team. With 58 million in player sales, we looked at Manchester United's Marcus Rashford to help us solve our attacking problems, and with the current situation with him and the Manchester club and a 36 million price tag, it looked like a good deal for a 27-year-old with experience in putting the ball at the back of the net. All we needed was to get him to be consistent. Although there were other positions that needed some quality, there were no funds to complete these moves, so that would have to be the focus for the summer. We did need a striker though, seeing as Isaac had been sold, so we went in for a known Ivorian 20-year-old striker, Seydou Traoré, to fill in that spot for us up front. Not a lot of experience with this player, but I liked what I saw in the scout report and I believe he could be a good player for us. And with that out of the way, we completed our signings for January and sent our scouts out to find some promising talents for the academy. We headed into our next game against Valencia in the league, where new signings Marcus Rashford and Seydou Traoré made their debuts. A quick start for us as we look to get the opening goal in the early stages of the game. It's Luka Bacchio looking to do that as he threats a pass to find Djibril Sow on goal. He looks for options and he finds Traoré, and a one-time shot from the Ivorian gets him his debut goal and the first of the game. He may not have the experience in front of goal, but he has taken a very big first step and hopefully a sign of many more to come. The game followed a pattern with Valencia getting a lot of opportunities to go forward, but I have to commend the defenders Kike Salas and Bade for keeping them quiet, because for a team not in a good position in the league, they did well to push us. Rashford, looking to take his second chance in his career at Sevilla, tries to make it 2 but is kept out by the goalkeeper. More defending had to be done to keep that clean sheet, and it was enough to get our first win in the league. A first man of the match performance for Seydou Traoré as well. Another Copa del Rey match in the round of 16 against Real Betis, and as I said earlier, I would like to take this competition seriously. As Marcus Rashford bombs down the left wing, quick feet as he gets away from the defenders. Traoré and Luka Bacchio are options for him, but he doesn't look like he wants to look for them, and he finishes it off, and that is a beautiful way to score your first goal and introduce yourself to the club. Welcome to Sevilla, Marcus Rashford. As the first half comes to a close, Betis looks to get an equalizer as they probe into the box. Defenders scrambling to clear the ball out, but it's not enough to keep them out as they level the game. Moving to the second half, Betis take the initiative to try and get the second goal to go in front, but a couple of tame shots don't cause too much problems as we head into extra time, and With both teams being level and balanced, the round will have to be settled on penalties. Two saves from Niland in the penalty shootout sent us to the next round of the competition, and we may have to go up against some of the bigger teams in the next round. Getting back to the league, looking to get ourselves in a better position, preferably mid-table, we show some intent in the early stages of the match against Espanyol by taking the lead with a good worked team goal and Luca Bacchio at the end of it opening up the game. It was the first half that saw us all over Espanyol, but their goalkeeper came in clutch and made a lot of saves to keep them in the game. We were made to rue those missed chances in the first half early on in the second half as Espanyol went on to get the equalizer 2 minutes into the half. We still went on to apply the pressure like we did in the first half, but this time around it was the defenders that came in clutch to help keep the game level, with the goalkeeper making a few saves here and there. Heading into the 70th minute, and it was our defense that was now being put to the test, and it was a test that they did not do very well in by giving Espanyol the lead, and it was looking like we wouldn't be able to get back in this game, much less win it. And that was confirmed as we went to look for the equalizer with a venomous shot from Luca Bacchio and an equally matching save from the goalkeeper. And just like clockwork, Espanyol take the initiative to go up the other end and finish off the game, and this goal was just a sign that it was just one of those unlucky days for us, and we just had to take it and move on to the next match. We wrap up the January transfer window with a couple more outgoings, and we'll have to look to get more points on the board as the season is approaching its end. Heading into this game against Getafe, we look to do just that, creating chances to go in front, but Getafe had other ideas as they went on to get the first goal of the game. And with the January transfer window out the way, our defense looks a bit shaky now that I look at it, but we have to bounce back from this adversity, one that Getafe did not make easy for us at all, but we had to keep pushing up until the final minute. And a really good hold-up play from Marcus Rashford as he lobs the ball over to find Saul inside the penalty box. He takes a touch and he puts us level with the final kick of the game, and hopefully this could be a spark for the team to get some more needed results in the league. Back to the Copa del Rey, we go on to face Barcelona in the quarterfinals, and we looked to cause a bit of an upset here, with Traore doing well, getting the first shot and a shot on target in the game. Barca went on to take control of the game through getting chance after chance, and half an hour into the game, it's Quique Salas with an honestly controversial foul, but nonetheless a penalty is awarded to Barcelona, and it's Lewandowski on the spot, and a bit of hesitation from the goalkeeper makes it easy for Robert, and it's 1-0 against us. The second half comes following the same flow as the closing stages of the first. With a couple of good defending and good saves, we keep the score 1-0 and give ourselves a chance, and it's a chance that we take well, catching Barca by surprise with a couple of well-placed passes, finding Rashford at the end of them, and that's one hell of a foot race as the former Red Devil hits one and it goes off the post not once but twice, but that's not enough to keep the ball out, and we level up the game with an hour gone. We managed to take the game to extra time with a couple of good defending and saves, but we really didn't want to get to penalties as we looked to get an early goal in extra time, but it's too much from Saul for Rashford to control. Not much really went on in the first 15 minutes of extra time. It was in the second 15 that Lamine Yamal came on and really showed the difference between the two teams. Like, just look at this. I don't even know how Nilan just saved that ball, but it didn't matter because Lamine Yamal was willing to go again, and go again he did as he got Barca's second goal, just taking the actual piss out of our defense, and that continued as he went on to find Rafinha for their third goal, and I'll be honest, it was well deserved. because I really didn't have an answer to stop the Spaniard, and it was an unfortunate knockout of our only chance of silverware this season. So now we had to focus on the league and try to see if we could obtain European football no matter the competition. Seeming like we were being haunted by Barca in this journey, we went on to face them in the league, and it was a trouncing. I don't know if the players were just not motivated to at least get some revenge, but it was an embarrassing result against Barca as they just got chance after chance, and I'm even surprised that they only scored 3 goals. After that result, questions were rightly being asked of us, with mixed opinions from the fans about the performances, and we really needed to step up and start delivering, and so did the new signings. But that would have to wait for the new signings, as heading into our next match against Valladolid, Rashford along with Luka Bacchio were benched due to not being up to match fitness, and Ajuke and Peke were given a chance in the team, and it was a chance that Ajuke took well, getting the first goal of the game. We were tested a little by Valladolid, but it wasn't enough as Ajuke looked to get his second goal of the game and really fights for a spot in the team, but a good save from the goalkeeper denies him. We do well to keep Valladolid out throughout the game, and in the 80th minute we get an opportunity to double our lead, and it was the 2 players who were given a chance in the team that ended up linking together to create a chance, and it's Ajuke again who gets on the end of it, and he's really giving Marcus a run for his money in the starting 11. With the game inching towards the end and 3 points in the horizon, it's Ajuke again looking to cause some problems, and he does just that and finds Traore in a splendid spot, and he seals off the game. And coming from that Barca defeat, this is definitely the result that we needed to get the fans back on our side. And the man of the match performance from Ajuke really has the fans talking and gives Rashford something to think about. With that performance from Ajuke, all eyes were on Marcus in the next game against Mallorca. Into the first half, and the Mallorca goalkeeper is put to the test on different occasions, making some really good saves, but we still probe looking for that first goal, and it's Marcus Rashford this time around looking to make an impact as he looks to find Traore, who does well to give us the lead, and it's fair to say he's been doing well lately. Almost immediately we get the ball back looking to double that lead, and it's Rashford again looking to do something from the left as he does well to cut inside away from that defender, edge of the box, and oof, that's how you win favor back with the fans as we go 2 goals up, with Marcus Rashford being at the center of both goals. A pretty equal second half meant both teams weren't able to break down each other and add more goals to the scoreline, so it ends with another 3 points on the table for us with 2 wins in a row. With the recent players scoring goals from Ajuke to Rashford to Traore, it was Luka Bacchio who was actually the leading goal scorer for us this season, who wasn't getting in much action in front of goal, but a little motivation from new signings scoring goals seemed like what he needed as he opened up the scoring for us in the first 2 minutes of the game. With the early goal scored, it did give Vallecano the opportunity to get back at us, but a couple of good saves kept us ahead in the game. And the chance to double that lead came with the counter-attack led by Marcus Rashford, who finds Traore through. Knowing his capabilities, he does well to find Luka Bacchio, and the one-time ball over the top finds Jibril Sow, who takes it down well, 2 on goal, but in a weird position now. But a quick turn takes him away from the defenders to find Luka Bacchio, and that was a well-worked counter-attack and a second goal for Luka Bacchio in the game. Vallecano still persistent to put themselves back in the game, but couldn't do enough. Early stages in the second half though, we looked to kill off the game, and it was Marcus Rashford again looking to cause some problems, and that's exactly what he does with a ball over the top to find Seydou Traore, 2 on goal, and that's a lovely striker goal to make it 3, and the 20-year-old is really starting to make a name for himself. Vallecano still looking for that goal in the 70th minute, giving up the ball away for a counter-attack, and it's Luka Bacchio on a hat-trick looking to get it going forward, but he threads the ball through for Traore, and a very premature tackle from the Vallecano defense just puts the Ivorian through on goal, and he goes for a more difficult shot actually to the far post to get his second and 4th goal of the game, and that's more than enough to get our 3rd win in a row. With that win out of the way, we went on to face Sociedad away from home, and this was a match that really showed how much the players really wanted to get this team back to former glory, with Traore getting the first goal of the game in the first 20 minutes, and literally right after that, it's Traore again playing a good ball through on goal for the unmarked Luka Bacchio, who wastes no time in making it 2, and we look to be cruising at the time. But a little hint of complacency led to a defensive error gifting Oyarzabal the ball, and he goes on to get Sociedad back in the game. That goal gave the Sociedad players some confidence, but it also woke our players back up, and some good saves and defending kept us in front going into the second half. Sociedad came into the second half on the attack from the onset, looking to get that equalizer, and that they did with a well-worked move to level the game. We did well to keep the match level as we approached the 70th minute mark, but we still wanted to get that goal to put us in front, and Luca Bacchio took the initiative with an explosive run on the right-hand side, looking to cause some issues, and I don't know if I attribute this to bad defending or brilliance from Belgium or just both, but he goes to get his second of the game and put us back in front. We came close a couple of times to put the final nail in the coffin, but Luca Bacchio's goal proved enough, and that was now our 4th win in a row. 12 points in the bag, and we were starting to look good in the league. Looking at the squad, we seemed to lack depth in some positions, like up top, and looking at the next season where we would have to step things up, we might need to get another striker to help Traore out, and to prevent bringing in a player that would be benching Traore, I wanted to bring in someone who could push Traore for his spot, and that's where the academy comes in, as we got some talents into the academy from our scouts, and Daniel Dominguez at 16 looked to be a promising player that could do the job I needed, so I gave him the opportunity to show not just me but the fans what they can expect from him next season. Up next in the league was Athletic Bilbao, and this match really brought us down from the high horse we were riding coming into the game, because we did go on to go in front in the first 5 minutes of the match, and things were looking good as Luca Bacchio went on to grab his second in the next 5 minutes, and we looked in total control of the game, getting more chances after the first 2 goals, and it didn't look like Athletic Bilbao had any answers, but we were immediately brought back down to earth by a solo run and an outstanding display of pace from Inaki Williams, as he almost went alone to get a goal back for the team, but Martin wasn't able to do enough to get that goal. Inaki Williams though gets another opportunity again, and his pace and physicality is really something else, as he goes on his own this time around to get a goal back for Bilbao. He kept pestering us on that right hand side, but we did well to keep our lead going into the second half. And some good anticipation from Kike Salas gives us a counter-attack opportunity, and it's quick passing and movements from the players moving the ball up the pitch. Now, as mentioned earlier, we got brought down from our high horse in this game, and you may be wondering how that happened. Well, just like Lamine Yamal, Inaki Williams decided to be a pain in the backside in this game. We had a couple of really good chances after though, but they were not good enough to extend our lead. Following the same vein as his brother, Nico Williams looked to create something from the left hand side with 5 minutes to go, and that blistering pace really was a problem for us. But this cross to find his brother in the box, who headed that ball with such finesse to level the game and complete his hat-trick, was just something else. Totally undefendable, and with a minute left of the game, we were grateful to get a draw. But Inaki Williams wanted to get his fourth and finish off the game, but fortunately for us, he was offside. And to be honest, looking at it now, we were really lucky to get a draw in this game. We went on to face Betis, and it was drop points again for us, as we weren't clinical enough to get a goal back, and we needed to get back to winning ways as we went up against another tough game in the league, this time against Atletico Madrid. We did well this match to keep things level, but I'll say Atletico just didn't take their chances in this game. But no complaints from me, because it was a draw that we would happily take considering the opposition we were up against. And after that result, looking at the league, it was looking more and more difficult to be able to even get Conference League, not to even think of Europa League. But we just had to win as much games as we could with the remaining matches in the league. We looked to do just that heading into the match against Valencia, and Traore, understanding the assignment, opened up the scoring for us in the 30th minute. We had a couple more chances to go in front, and so did Valencia, but it was with 5 minutes to go in the half that they went on to get the equalizer. With the first half coming to a close, the players looked to get us back in front, and smart decision making from Marcus Rashford finds Saul through on goal, who squares it through Traore as he gets his second of the game and puts us in front at the end of the first half. The second half was pretty equal for both teams, getting chances but nothing really testing both goalkeepers. And with the match coming to an end, substitutes were brought on to see out the game, and 16-year-old Dominguez from the academy was a part of those subs, coming in for Traore. And 4 minutes after the subs, we had an opportunity to seal off the game. Sambi Lokonga into the 18-yard box finds the debutant, who wastes no time, and it's his first goal for the club 4 minutes into putting on a Sevilla shirt. And that's how you introduce yourself, and that goal is enough to get us 3 important points, but not after causing a few scares from conceding a goal in the 90th minute minutes. Dominguez's efforts are appreciated by the media and fans alike. We go on to beat Deportivo to get another 3 points, but an unfortunate red card for Marcus Rashford heading into the next game against Osasuna. That had a lot of action from us, but we weren't able to put the ball in the back of the net, and it was looking like one of those days. Luka Bacchio took the initiative and got that elusive goal that we needed to calm the nerves, and that was enough for us to get our third win in a row and continue our climb in the table. It was still looking like it was going to be tough to get European football, but as I mentioned, all we needed to do is to win as many games as we could and hope that the results in other games go our way. Next match up against Leganes was a pretty tough one, although goals from Seydou Traoré and one from Rashford put us in front pretty early on in the game. We did manage to make the game pretty difficult by giving away a penalty and losing focus defensively and giving them a chance to get back level. Fortunately for us, they weren't able to take those chances and we get another 3 points, but we still remain 9th in the league. Still looking to win as much games as we could. We went up against Celtic and Rashford with a very early goal opens up the scoring for us, and it's Djibril Sow who goes on to get the second of the game. And we do well to maintain our lead heading into the second half, but Celta Vigo were persistent as Iago Aspas goes to get a goal back for them and give them an opportunity to get back in the game. But I do have to give some praise to our forwards because they really stepped up in the second half of the season to really take us to the level we are at the moment, as Luka Bacchio gets our third of the game, and that is enough to get us another 3 points, and that actually moves us up the league and takes us closer to a potential Conference League spot. Our next match against Las Palmas gave us another 3 points in the league, with Traoré again and Djibril Sow doing enough to push us through, and that 3 points puts us 1 position away from Conference League football and another 3 points away from that spot as well if results go our way. But we had to worry about ourselves more than the other teams as we had Real Madrid up next, but so did Sociedad in their next game, and Villarreal also had Barca as well. So we had to try our best not to lose this match against Los Blancos and hope other results again will go in our favor. A home game, and with the fans understanding the importance of not losing this match, we will hope that they will be the 12th man for us today. The match felt pretty equal in the early stages with both teams getting similar chances, but as mentioned earlier, it felt like the fans got to the Madrid players as they were making mistakes in front of goal that they normally don't make, and with the first half coming to a close, Lokonga gives the fans something to really shout about with a crunching tackle to stop an attack, and thankfully it's just a warning from the referee. The second half followed the same vein as the first, with both teams getting similar chances, and as mentioned earlier, the Madrid forwards and defenders looked to be letting the fans get to them as they made mistakes you normally would see from those players. As the match went on, Traoré seemed to be having a tough time in front of goal, so a substitution for Dominguez was called for, and it was a big opportunity on a big stage and at an important time in the season for not just him but the entire team. With a draw in the horizon heading into the 80th minute, Real Madrid still looked the better team, and with the quality they still had on the field, they were bound to score, and that is what they did as Kylian Mbappe goes to put them in front with 15 minutes left in the game, and it was looking really grim for us. The players were still fighting though, and a speculative clearance from Pedrosa somehow finds its way to the substitute Ajuke, who does well to find Rashford. Spearheading this speculative 2v3 counterattack, lays the ball off to Dominguez, who is through on goal. He wasted no time to take the shot, and it's enough to beat Courtois, and he is writing history here in Sevilla, and it's a lovely goal that he isn't going to forget about soon, and neither will the fans. Credit to Marcus Rashford for creating that time, and we hold on to that draw, which almost feels like a win, and with hopes held high, we wait to see if the other results go in our favor. After the match, we find out that Villarreal dropped points against Barcelona, but Sociedad win against Girona, and our hopes of Europa League football end with that Sociedad win. But almost like it was meant to be, we needed to beat Villarreal to get Conference League football in the final match of the season. This was the final opportunity for us to make something of the season. After not being able to take any trophy, getting European football, no matter what competition, would really boost confidence in the team and us, the manager, for the next season. But it wasn't going to be easy, seeing as this was an away game and the Villarreal fans also knew what was on the line in this match. Villarreal took control of this match in the early stages, but nothing threatening as we looked to hit them on the counter from a bad pass, and we do well to move the ball around, and a lovely diagonal from Luka Bacchio looking for Traoré, finds him and does well to take it down and lays it off to Rashford, who does well to get away from one, holds onto the ball to get away from two, lets loose with a shot, and that's one for the highlights from the Englishman to put us in front in such an important match. Villarreal still in control of the game, but still not able to do anything with that control as we head into the second half. And better defense from us this time around was good enough to keep Villarreal quiet. But if I'm being honest, they didn't cause any major problems for us in the match, and that one goal for Marcus Rashford seemed to be enough to get us the win and 3 points to salvage our season, getting us Conference League football for the next season. Completing the objectives for this season and having 2 players in the team of the season showed signs of good things to come for next season. We finished the season with Luka Bacchio being our top goal scorer with 20 goals, followed by Seydou Traoré with 11 and Marcus Rashford with 7. And Djibril Sow led the assist with 8 assists, followed closely by Marcus Rashford with 6. And an overall pretty good season, especially for the new signing, and hopefully we can get more from them in the next season. I would like to hear from you guys based on what you've seen so far on the players that you would like to see in the next season. This video was longer because I wanted to get the rest of this season out of the way, but I plan on dividing every season until we complete the series into 4 parts per season. And based on the support and reactions on the subsequent seasons, I will stream all parts of the final season live on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, especially about transfers, because you are the guys who end up watching the videos. As usual, any feedback from you guys would be greatly appreciated.